Tony D and Little Joan in the background, and this is a screenwriter's rant on Rebel Moon, Part 2, The Scargiver. Alright, let's do this. Smash like and subscribe. Thank you for smash liking and subscribing. Check out my books. The links are in the description. Comedy Horror in South Jersey. It's the Pineys. Books 1 through 13 available at Amazon.com. Don't forget, Kindle Unlimited is free. I'll say it before and I'll say it again. Zack Snyder is really good at creating images. I mean, you look at this trailer and it's beautiful. The images are breathtaking. He's got two moons in the background and peasant dwellings and people on alien horses. He's got the actors look good. The bad guys look like, the bad guys from Germany. He's got every visual button you could possibly push. He's got basically lightsabers. He's got a cool robot that also fights with the lightsabers. He's got a princess, although she's got a short haircut. I don't like that. It's very unattractive. But she's killing everybody. She can somehow, when a full-grown man presses down on her with a sword and she's pressing up, oh yeah, she's going to press back and not have her head cut off. There's someone with a robot arm, and it's got all the visuals. It's got great visuals. I'll give you that. Zack Snyder can make visuals. But this, to me, April 19th, by the way, PG-13, is about, it's not even as good of a story as Avatar. Avatar at least had some story. Now, a lot of the elements were very derivative, but this one doesn't even appear to have that. Like, this one is like just images. Oh, we got gunplay. Oh, look out, you're gonna have to do the thing. Like, nothing in this trailer tells you what the actual story is. I sort of know it from watching other videos about it, but it doesn't tell you anything in this trailer, really. There's a guy who teaches the peasants how to fight. I mean, all 6 of them, it looks like. And, of course, he compliments the girl. Oh, very good. Very impressive. Like the one girl in the group. Very impressive. Ah, you men could learn something from this woman. Is Zack Snyder going woke? Yeah, I don't know who this dude is. So this whole scene, while visually cool, looking cool, has no impact on me whatsoever. Because I don't know who he is. I know he's the bad guy. Like, the way you would... I assume they resurrected him. Is that what they've done? Or he was horribly injured? I assume what you could do... those view... And you can argue Zack Snyder has no impact on the trailer. I would say, in this case, he probably cut it himself. But what you could do is do a little vignette with this character about how he ended up injured or dead and how they put him in the cocoon, right? So it'd be, just as flashy as all the other stuff, right? It would be some of the scenes from the previous chapter. Baron Von Evil, he's stabbed. I think he's going to die. Let's get him to the medevac. And then they drop him in the tank. And then they cut to this. Something to tell us the story or what happened. Yeah, I kind of figured it out, but I don't care. I don't know who this guy is. I don't know who the princess really is. I don't know who any of these characters are. Okay, you got a cool robot. You got cool spaceships. There should be a whole story behind it that you can see, not the whole thing, but you can see elements of it in the trailer. The details matter, and that's what I think is missing from all of Zack Snyder's work. There's no detail. None. Not really. There's just cool stuff. You remember the kid, and I was one of these kids, in school that would draw spaceships on his notebook and guys exploding? That kid? There's a lot of different kids who would do that. Just drawing spaceships and monsters all in your notebook and they're fighting each other. Page after page, doodles of just violence. because that's what boys do. They draw that kind of stuff in school when they're bored. That's, to me, a Zack Snyder film. Is it cool? Yeah, yeah. Some kid back in, I don't know, middle school would show me his notebook. Oh, look at this dude. Look at this fight scene. Oh, that's cool, dude. Look at mine. That's what everything Zack Snyder has ever done reminds me of. It looks cool. Is there a story behind it? Nah, not really. There's a fight. But the story is somewhere in there, but it's kind of almost an afterthought. Oh, yeah, you know, I don't know. She's a princess and she's got to take back the rebel moon or whatever. Like it's like an afterthought. Like, oh, yeah. That should be first and foremost. The story should be up front. They should have scenes of dialogue with. And they had some. I don't want to say they had no dialogue in this, but very little. Like the one line of dialogue was, "You must know that you are doomed," or something like that. You cannot win. But that's not enough. You have to assume, and you could say, well, you have to see the first one. You have to assume you put this on YouTube in order to draw people in, right? You have to assume they haven't seen the first one either. It's still on Netflix. You could see both of them. If you gave me some interesting story elements, I might go, oh, well, maybe that's kind of cool. Although the reviews are not great. And I wonder why. It's just scene after scene of action. I mean, Hardcore Henry had that. And that was at least POV stuff was kind of interesting. I'm not saying this is uninteresting or even unentertaining, but it's not a movie. It's a live action version of a guy playing with action figures. Pew, 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 pew. Arr. You know, hire a writer or two. You know, the only thing I can think of is if they do have writers in this, Zack Snyder must say, "Oh, dude, I'm going to do this cool thing." Well, that's not in the story, Zack. Yeah, but I'm going to do it anyway. What else? I don't know how else to explain his films. You know? Like, you need a story. You need something. Something different. Something interesting. Is the princess interesting? I don't know. She shoots people in the face and can kill everybody. I don't see why. I honestly don't. Now, when a dude does that, and he's a muscular dude, I could suspend my disbelief and say, well, that dude, he's a killing machine. When a woman does it, I go, why? Does she have a special thing that makes her a little stronger and quicker than the guys? Like, just doesn't seem like she should be able to do this. Like if you just threw in that little element there, right? Like at the beginning of the story, the princess is going to be executed, and they decide to dump her in a vat of, I don't know, something's going to kill her. But it's some experimental fluid, and it's supposed to kill her, but it doesn't, and instead it makes her like an unstoppable killing machine. Then at least I can go, oh, that's why. And you could say, well, that's kind of like a superhero element. It would be something. It'd be something to go, oh, that's kind of different for a Star Wars-y type movie thing. And really putting in lightsabers, I don't see why you're doing that. I don't see, and even in the fight scene they show in the beginning, right? She comes off a ship and she kills like 40 guys. She's by herself. She has a sleeveless tee on, and she just kills everybody. None of these guys just shoot her. Literally, the guy with the sword is just standing there while she kills everybody. Why doesn't she shoot him, or why doesn't he just shoot her? Why don't they just shoot her? Like, there's no cover. It's just she goes in and tears through all these guys. I just don't believe it. She's wearing a sleeveless tee. The other guy's wearing armor. For what good that does. I guess it saves on the stuntman. All right, guys, you're dead. Let's get yourself some new armor, and then we'll do the next scene where she kills 40 other guys. It's just, I want to like it. It's in my wheelhouse of stuff that I would like. If it was a role-playing game, I'd be like, cool, I'm going to be one of the dudes with a sword. And then the DM would say, oh, well, the princess kills you. And I'd just be like, what the F, man? What level is she? It just, you need a story here. This dude, I mean, he looks cool. I've seen him before and stuff. He's kind of got that, hey, I'm a mentor kind of look to him. Okay. How about a couple of lines indicating his personality and what he does? Other than, that's impressive, to the one girl in the shot, the one peasant girl. And then this guy, Baron von Evil, or whatever his name is, just tearing through dudes. Is this how a military operation works? We're going to take that peasant village. I'll go personally and kill each individual myself. Like, it doesn't make any sense. That seems like the setup. I mean, you watched the trailer, you tell me. The robot's cool, though. I like the robot. I think you should have made it about him. But I don't know his origin story. He kind of looks like the main protagonist from Dead Space. You got all these cool visuals. She's hugging people. Something's happening. The scene where the ship is crashing and they're fighting. I mean, it looks cool as F. But I don't know what the hell's going on. There's not enough, in my view, there's not enough story elements in the damn movie, or whatever it is, miniseries, to peel out to put in a trailer. But that's consistent to me with Zack Snyder's work. Again, the story's just an afterthought. Oh, yeah, well, they're probably on a planet. I don't know, they're doing something. So, you're allowed to like this, by the way. I don't care if you like it. It's not for me. I wouldn't recommend it. The first chapter's already been kind of panned. I don't see how the second chapter is really going to clarify things. Stories that go on like this are about heightening and clarifying. There's a way to do it. Zack Snyder seems to be behind the curve on that. On visuals, he's way ahead of the curve. And it is very frustrating to me that a studio can't come along and say, Zack, here's a great script. We want you to direct this, but we want you to follow the script and make the visuals. I don't see why he can't do that. It would help him. Maybe he doesn't want to. Maybe he feels confined by a screenplay. Maybe he can't, I thought Michael Bay had that problem, but at least Michael Bay would have enough story elements kind of would get through it. Zack Snyder seems to be like the Michael Bay of Michael Bay. Even Michael Bay would watch this and go, God, man, I wish there was a little more story in this. So, if I was trying to work with Zack Snyder, I would love for him to make the visuals for the Pineys. I think he'd make them cool as hell. But I'd be really afraid he would not even read the books. So what happens? There's a fight. Act 1, in the previous episode of Rebel Moon, there was a fight. Act 2, or Chapter 2, the princess is on a moon and fights some more. Act 3, they win. I guess. I don't know. There's not enough elements here for me to tell, and I just don't care. And that's a real problem. You got to be able to care about characters. You got to be able to watch this and go, ooh, like, who is the princess? I have no clue. And you could say all day long, well, you didn't watch the first one. Some of that should be in here. You can watch the trailer from The Empire Strikes Back, or The Wrath of Khan, or any of the other sequels in a genre like this. The second Lord of the Rings movie, which one was that? Was that the Two Towers? You could watch those and go, oh. Even if you've never seen the first one, you could watch it and go, oh. Even, what was the second new Star Wars movie? From the prequels, let's see, it was Phantom Menace and whatever the other one was. You could watch that and at least kind of care about the characters. Like, the princess has to have, like, a scene where she saves people or sacrifices herself in some way. You know? Maybe there's a little girl standing on a precipice and the princess grabs her and dives off as a robot arm comes crashing down and she dives into the water and the lasers are all around her. That would be cool. That would say, oh, she's a hero. You know, what are the bad guys? What are they doing? Like, how about a line from one of them? We must drain this planet of life. Okay, now we've got evil. All right, now you got a movie. You watch it. You tell me. It's a terrible trailer, in my view. It might as well be a trailer for, I don't know, the new set of, like, Magic cards or a Dungeons & Dragons module or anything. Literally anything. Anything under that sort of subgenre of fantasy, sci-fi. It just looks like, you know, Zack takes a bunch of elements, jams them into a movie, does a bunch of cool things, say, oh, did we do the scene with the cool robot? Did we do the cool scene where the ship is crashing and they're fighting? Did we do the cool scene where the Nazi guy jumps into the trenches and kills all those dudes? And he just sort of checks them off and goes, okay, let's edit this. What about the story, Zack? We'll throw in a voiceover or something. I'm sure it'll be fine. I'm going to go, I don't know, bang some hot chicks. What is he doing? I don't understand. I knew this franchise was in trouble the moment he announced Mags Visaggio, I think that's the person's name, was doing the comic book adaptation of this, and I just thought, of all people to pick, of all people, then I knew, I said, well, this franchise is completely doomed. Completely doomed. I guess the Zack Snyder stands will support it because they'll support anything, but I gotta think you guys must be watching this going, where's the payoff here? Like, where's the rest of it? Like, it's like he made an awesome sandwich and handed it to you, and you start eating it, and then you realize there's no meat in the sandwich. And a little bit of cheese. And you're just like, it's just lettuce and tomato and a little bit of cheese? Yeah, but it's an awesome sandwich, right? Well, it looked awesome from the outside, but now I'm actually eating it, I don't find it, it doesn't, I don't find any nutrients in it. That's to me a Zack Snyder movie. I don't know. Hey, look, yell at me all you want in the comments. I don't care. It's just my opinion. Yeah. So, Rebel Moon Part 2, The Scargiver. He even has cool names. There's half the guys in Hollywood can't even come up with decent names for their damn films. He can do everything apparently except tell a story. Let's read the write-up. Part 2, The Scargiver of Rebel Moon, continues the epic saga. See, like already I'm like, this isn't very epic. Of Korra and the surviving warriors as they prepare to sacrifice everything, fighting alongside the brave people of Velt to defend the once peaceful village? Isn't this like a space thing? A newfound homeland for those who have lost their own fight against the Mother World. On the eve of their battle, the warriors must face the truths of their own past, each revealing why they fight. What? As the full force of the realm bears down on the burgeoning rebellion, unbreakable bonds are forged, heroes emerge, and legends are made. It's a bunch of gobbledygook in my view. From Zack Snyder, filmmaker behind 300. Now, 300's great. I love 300. That's the one movie of his I love. Man of Steel, no. Army of the Dead, no. Rebel Moon is a two-part movie event, decades in the making. I don't know if I believe that, but okay. So this is April 19th. But even this description feels very generic. Like, warriors. Surviving warriors. Of what? What did they survive? Like, you could say Scargiver continues the epic saga of the surviving, I don't know, rebels to the... I mean, you can't use Empire, obviously, because that would be Star Wars, and they'd probably get sued. But you could say the surviving rebels. You could probably use rebels, right? I know that's Star Wars too, but it's also a generic term. It's better than warriors. Warriors is even more generic. Warriors can mean the guys on the other side too. How about the surviving refugees of the Battle of blah, 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 as they prepare to sacrifice everything? Well, that doesn't sound very good. And I mean that in a synopsis. Like, as they prepare to sacrifice everything, are they standing around going, well, all right, I got all my stuff here. I guess I'm going to burn it the moment these guys show up, so everything is sacrificed? Like, that doesn't make any sense. How about the survivors of the previous battle attempt to build a new civilization on a homeworld outside the mother world's jurisdiction, let's say. You know, defend a once peaceful village. Like, again, this is supposed to be Star Wars-y stuff. You're telling me one village they're defending? It doesn't make any sense. It should be planet. It should be planet-based stuff, right? Or moon. The once peaceful moon of blah, 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 Welt, I guess. Refugees from the fight against the mother world. I guess they're the bad guys. It should probably say something about the context of the mother world. Like, how can these guys stand up against the mother world? Like, are they so corrupt that they're kind of falling apart? Like, that would be interesting, right? You could say, defending their own against the corrupt and disintegrating mother world forces. Then you say, oh, okay, so they're super corrupt, but they're evil. Something like that. On the eve of their battle, the warriors. See, it's so generic. Must face the truths of their own path. That's totally unnecessary. Right there. Like, it should be specifically about probably Korra, since she's the main character. Korra must face, a person from her past or something like that. It was probably Baron Von Evil. The full force of the realm. Who's the realm? Is that the mother world? See, again, you got to assume nobody saw the first one when you write these things. It bears down on the burgeoning rebellion. Wasn't there a whole movie about the rebellion the first time? Like, did these guys win? Like, if they won and they freed the moon, like, that puts it in a different context. Like, now the defenders of the free moon of Welt must take on the mother world and defend their homeland from blah, blah, blah. So, like, maybe the bad guys are falling apart at the seams, and they've lost the mother world, but they're pulling back, and they don't have enough arms to take the mother world back, but they do have enough arms to take, say, the moon, a smaller thing, and restart their, I don't know, their dictatorship or whatever. That would make a lot of sense, or some sense, I'll say. But I don't know. Just seems like a bunch of nonsense. So anyhow, it's Rebel Moon. If you love Zack Snyder, I'm sure you're going to love it. I'm sure it's a fan favorite. And that's it for me, Tony D. God, that was way too long. Thanks for tuning in and listening this long. I will be at Parker's Bend tomorrow in Morristown at 2 p.m. for my talk on how to hunt the Jersey Devil. Make sure you're a resident or family or you get permission. I don't know if they would give you permission, but you could wait and see me on Saturday. I'll be at Nerd Force Fan Fest in Glassboro, New Jersey, at the Marriott Hotel in Glassboro, New Jersey. Hope to see you there. We'll see you